workers representing us in D.C.
Also tonight, Augusta Hospital is reaching across the river to help people get vaccinated. We find out when public vaccinations might start here in the river region. But first, he's saying today it is all about the triumph of democracy. Unity, the focus of President Biden's inaugural address today. He says we must end the uncivil war happening in America right now, saying we have to be better.
As we look ahead in our uniquely American way, restless, bold, optimistic, and set our sights on the nation we know we can be and we must be.
Former Presidents Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Vice President Pence were all there at the inauguration today. President Biden also mentioned Jimmy Carter in his address, saying with coronavirus concerns, President Carter couldn't make it, but he had called Biden to congratulate him.
Former President Trump was not there. He is the first president to skip the inauguration since President Nixon, after Nixon resigned after the Watergate scandal. But Trump gave his final speech as president this morning here at the Joint Base Andrews. He thanked his supporters there, saying he was honored to serve as president and also wished the new administration luck, and he left the door open for his return.
I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better. I wish the new administration great luck and great success. A goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form.
After that speech, President Trump flew on Air Force One to his home in Palm Beach, Florida.
Happening right now, the Senate is in session for the swearing in of U.S. senators. It's one of the first duties Kamala Harris gets to perform as vice president. And it was a historic day for our country as she becomes the first woman, first African American, and first Asian American to be vice president. And in that chamber, history made for the state of Georgia as well today, as John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock were sworn in as senators. Reverend Warnock becomes the first black senator from Georgia. Ossoff is the first Jewish senator from Georgia. Now with Joe Biden as president, it's also the first time Democrats have controlled the executive and legislative branches since 2011. That's because Democrats control the House too. The Senate is a 50-50 split, but Vice President Harris has the deciding vote, and that could lead to big changes ahead. Sydney Heiberger talked to local party leaders about what they're expecting.
It's a signal of a new direction for our country. Local Democrats telling me they hope this presidency brings unity. Local Republicans telling me they hope unity means fair compromise. They're calling it a presidency of firsts, starting with the first black, Asian, and female vice president.
Today speaks volumes as to where we're heading as a country.
But as America moves forward, local political leaders on both sides of the aisle say they hope we can leave violence in the past.
I feel like the Republican Party is always going to have a black guy because of January 6th. I think that was a few people out of control.
For President Biden and the Democratic Party, moving forward starts with a united front.
I understand that the election didn't go the way that some folks wanted it to go, but the issues that we still care about are still knocking on our door. We have to band together, put our differences aside, and go ahead and start delivering on issues that matters to folks.
But Republicans like Bob Brookshire fear unity might not mean equal compromise when Democrats now control the Senate, House, and presidency.
As conservatives, we have to stand up for what we think is right, and that doesn't mean capitulating.
But the issues, Democrats argue, aren't partisan.
There's so many people out of work. You know, just this week we hit 400,000 deaths due to COVID-19.
What the future holds, only time will tell. Bob also tells me it'll be interesting to see what happens to the Republican Party from here. He thinks it's a real possibility it may split up into two groups, those who support President Trump and more traditional Republicans. But of course, right now, it's all just a waiting game. Reporting in Augusta, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
So to Washington we go now, and look at this beautiful view of the U.S. Capitol, where just 6 hours ago, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris were sworn into office. That's a live look there at our nation's capital. A new start with a new administration calling for unity, and that includes the U.S. senators and representatives who represent us. Our Washington Bureau reporter Alana Austin checks in with how lawmakers from both Georgia and South Carolina are reacting today.
A
A new chapter begins in Washington. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are sworn into office, surrounded by thousands of National Guard troops and law enforcement officials.
The security is, I've never seen anything like it.
Georgia GOP Congressman Rick Allen voted against certifying the Electoral College results for Biden. But as chair of the Georgia Republican congressional delegation, he felt it was his responsibility to attend today's inauguration.
I'm certain I'm not going to agree with the policies they're going to be rolling out, because I don't think some of those things are going to be good for the country. But at the same time, he needs to cut the rhetoric, and we need to move on.
The threats posed by COVID-19 and the recent political violence in D.C. meant a much smaller crowd. Georgia Republican Congressman Buddy Carter brought Dr. Carla Sapp from Midway. She works as a drug abuse program coordinator at the Bureau of Prisons.
It's a special time in the life of our country when a new president is inaugurated, and as I said earlier, I'm committed to trying to work with this administration. It's a special time in the life of our country when a new president is inaugurated, and as I said earlier, I'm committed to trying to work with this administration.
With Democrats in power of the House and regaining control of the Senate and White House, Congressman Jim Clyburn, the House Majority Whip, says he's hopeful that new leadership will put the country on a better path forward.
Working with the administration is going to be great when you compare it with what we've gone through for the last 4 years. We will be able to bring along a lot of bipartisan support for getting beyond COVID-19.
In Washington, I'm Alana Austin.
And lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say COVID-19 economic relief will be a top priority, as well as infrastructure reform.
Taking a look out over the Calhoun Expressway tonight on a pretty nice evening, Riley.
It is another beautiful evening for us, and it was a gorgeous day. We actually had high temperatures back above average. 67 is what we topped out this afternoon out at Bushfield. Danielfield wasn't too far away, and as far as the sky goes, can't beat it. How about this? A beautiful shot of sunset from our Grovetown cam. Our temperatures are currently double nickels, 55 on the thermometer here in Augusta, so comfortable still and not expecting an overly cold night. Most of us are expected to generally stay in the mid-40s for lows as we head towards Thursday morning. Now, the cloud cover, this showed up late this afternoon. That is expected to stick with us tonight and then actually expected to give way to a few showers by daybreak tomorrow morning. We're already starting to see that cloud cover move in, so that's a sign of that rain moving in tomorrow. Have a look at how much we're expecting in the full forecast.
Thank you, Riley. Happening right now, a fire at a home on Storm Branch Road in Aiken County. We're told the fire was just put out in the last 20 minutes or so. This area of Storm Branch Road is shut down right now as firefighters work on those hot spots. There's a lot of emergency equipment in the roadway there, but we're told the homeowner was inside when the fire started, but no one was injured. That home, by the way, is a total loss. Firefighters believe the fire was accidental.
A truck slams into First Baptist Church of North Augusta this afternoon. You can see the truck right there up against the wall outside of the church on the Georgia Avenue side. Our crew on scene says it appears the driver lost control, hit a stop sign, a few branches, and ran into the church. The truck has now been towed away. We're working to find out if there were any serious injuries, but thankfully that driver was able to walk away.
Parents in Edgefield County, in the last half hour, we've learned your kids will continue doing virtual classes until at least February. A release from the Edgefield County School District says it's because of a significant increase in the number of staff quarantined after being deemed close contact with COVID. The district says right now the plan is to return to in-person classes Monday, February 1st. And again, that is for Edgefield County schools.
An Augusta commissioner says he is running.
Local COVID hospitalizations staying close to all-time highs. Here's a graph showing the trend of in-house COVID patients at each of our hospitals since the beginning of December, and it has been a steady increase day after day. University Hospital matching their record today with 149 COVID patients. That's the record they set on Monday. For now, AU Health and doctors are on a slight decline.
Health officials in Georgia and South Carolina still working to get more people vaccinated. These are the numbers on both sides of the river. On top is Georgia with 484,000 people. You see vaccines administered there to the right. And it also shows you the breakdown of which ones were Pfizer and which have been shipped. On the bottom is South Carolina numbers there with 172,000 people vaccinated so far. You can see that's a little more than half of the vaccines that have been received. But DHEC has said all those vaccines have already been scheduled to be given out. There's some good news about vaccines here at home. AU Health has been approved to set up a vaccination site in Aiken County. Along with that, we're learning on Friday, AU Health will give the first 100 public vaccines. Brady Trapnell goes in depth with the planned public vaccination process.
AU Health administered its 10,000th dose of vaccine today, but with the new registration platform almost ready for the public, AU Health is getting ready to vaccinate across the community. If everything goes to plan, next week, those 65 and older can be vaccinated at AU Health.
Every time we receive vaccine, moving forward, we'll be opening new dates or expanding hours of clinics that are already scheduled.
Dr. Joshua White is helping coordinate AU's vaccination effort. He says they expect to receive around 1,000 doses of vaccine later this week, ready for their first public appointments.
The supply of vaccine is not going to meet the demand. There's going to be more demand than supply initially. So everyone's needs may not be met initially.
But they are trying to work out any kinks beforehand. They built a brand new vaccine registration platform.
Because when you go onto the online registration platform, you will schedule your first dose and your second dose, and the dates will automatically populate, and the time will be at the choice of the individual getting vaccine.
And the initial phases will take place here at AU's Professional Building 1. They'll test the new process and website on Friday with 100 people already selected.
And allow us to identify any opportunities for improvement before we launch to a larger population.
South Carolina Senator Tom Young says both University Hospital and AU Health will start up vaccination clinics in Aiken County soon to help Aiken Regional and the Health Department vaccinate more people and break the growing backlog of appointments. AU Health says they plan to finalize their location on the South Carolina side for public vaccination very soon, and they hope to begin vaccinations on that side of the river by late next week or early the following week. Reporting in Augusta, Brady Trapnell on your side.
AU Health says they are looking at other opportunities to grow their vaccination numbers. For now, everything really depends on getting enough vaccine supply from the states.
And scammers out there are now taking advantage of people desperate to get a vaccine. The newest scam involves someone calling up and saying they're with the Department of Health and they're performing in-home vaccinations. Health officials say this is not the case. And if you do get a call like this, you should hang up right away. They also remind you to never give out any sensitive information, including your Social Security number, your Medicare number, over the phone.
If you're looking to get tested for COVID-19, DHEC has pop-up sites across the Palmetto State every day. Here are the ones in our area over the next several days. You can see tomorrow testing sites are open at the Blackville Library, USC Aiken Convocation Center, and the Edgefield and Saluda County Health Departments. It's best to register online on DHEC's website. In Georgia, you can set up an appointment with AU Health. They're still doing drive-through testing at the Health Sciences campus on 15th Street, but you do need to make an appointment for that. The fight over the future of the lock and dam still isn't. The plan they have now and are appealing for is removing the lock and dam and adding a rock weir.
A 16-year-old has been missing now for more than 2 weeks, and now the Columbia County Sheriff's Office wants your help to find her. Summer Martin, last seen on January 2nd on Indian Creek Road in Martinez. We're told she might be in the Castle Pines Trailer Park area off Mike Patchett Highway. If you know where she might be, call the Columbia County Sheriff's Office.
Tomorrow morning, we are expecting a few hit-or-miss showers, especially for right around daybreak heading towards midday. Have a look at some rain possible again by Friday in that weekend forecast next.
And beautiful carvings from a local artist who loves doing American flags, but there's something extra amazing about these carvings. We'll explain why in 60 seconds.
Some patriotic works of art from an artist right here at home. These are wood carvings of different variations of our American flag, and you can see the variety here really is amazing. The fact that the artist can make these at all is just incredible. Will Rio introduces us to the artist and tells us the most amazing thing about those carvings.
For Chris Daniel, woodworking in his garage every day is normal.
I started about 2 years ago, and we didn't have a lot of money to do like Christmas presents or anything like that. So I asked my wife, I said, what if I make something for our family?
He decided carving American flags was the way to go.
It's something we should all respect and enjoy and remember what our country was. For my family, every one of my family members was a veteran. So the flag means something to them drastically.
But the trickiest part of making these flags is actually seeing what he's doing.
Well, when I use a miter saw, my face is right here next to the blade so that I can see where my cut is going to be. So dangerous, a little bit.
Dangerous is an understatement, with his face no more than a few inches from a massive saw.
If OSHA saw me, I'd be in trouble.
Chris was born with cataracts that progressively got worse, making him legally blind.
It honestly means a lot, especially to my son. It shows him that even with a challenge, you can still do things. No matter what you want to do, there's a way to do it.
He's sold over 20 of his pieces so far.
It has my heart and soul into every piece that I make. Literally. You know, I may cut myself, and there might be some blood spilled at that point.
No matter how dangerous it is, seeing people's reactions to his work is everything.
It is dangerous. Things could happen, but I'm okay knowing that what I can produce can be something that people admire or, you know, respect or enjoy.
In Martinez, Will Rio, on your side.
Great story behind some patriotic works of art there. And Chris Daniel has his own Facebook page. It's called Chris Daniel Design, where you can contact him and check out all of his artwork, but really well done there.
Taking a look outside over Grovetown at I-20. Gorgeous skies. 2 nights in a row, Riley.
Definitely so. Beautiful day as well. We saw high temperatures back above average, got into the mid-60s again for us here in Augusta. This cloud cover made for a fantastic sunset. Still a little bit colorful out there here this evening. This is just going to continue filtering through and actually give way to some showers by early tomorrow morning. So if you're stepping out the door right around sunrise Thursday, if you have an early morning commute, we are expecting a wave of showers to be moving on through. Not necessarily widespread for everybody, not expecting rain to fall on every doorstep tomorrow, but we are expecting just this wave to be moving across our area. So you may want to have that umbrella ready to go just in case. By midday, most of this rain's now moving east of us, and into the afternoon, we actually are expecting a fairly dry day. Those high temperatures expected to reach the mid to upper 50s. Maybe a few lucky spots do briefly hit 60 if we see a few peaks of sun. We are expecting a break in the action Thursday evening through most of Thursday night. But basically what's going to happen, the front that moves through tomorrow, that's going to stall out to our south, and that's going to keep our rain chances highest for mainly our southern counties throughout the day on Friday. So in that 7-day forecast, you're going to see a relatively high rain percent for Friday, but that's mainly going to be for portions of the CSRA that are south of Augusta. So if you live north of Augusta, you're not anticipating to see too much in the way of rainfall on Friday. You are expected to stay fairly cloudy, though. That cloud cover is going to be fairly persistent the next couple of days. We are definitely going to be waiting and counting down the hours until we get to Saturday, where the sky's clear, and Saturday and Sunday look fantastic. Should be able to see those highs back to seasonal averages, mid to upper 50s, both Saturday and Sunday. As far as the rain goes, that first wave that moves through tomorrow morning through around midday, just a few hundredths of an inch. Maybe some people get just a little over a tenth of an inch, not expecting a whole lot. The wave that moves through Friday, that's going to bring up our totals in the southern CSRA, where they're expecting to see a better chance to see some showers roll through, where those totals could get close to maybe half an inch in those higher locations, but most spots in the southern CSRA expected to fall within this range right here. So for your Thursday, light showers, they'll be scattered in nature, and that includes Thursday morning. So as you head out the door, don't be surprised if you see a few raindrops. Friday, most of that rain's going to be for southern counties, so south of Augusta. Doesn't look like most of our northern counties should see rain by Friday. And into the weekend, everybody is expected to clear out. We're expecting highs to be close to average, 57, 59, both Saturday and Sunday. But take a look at that warm up early next week. Monday and Tuesday, those highs are expected to be close to 70.
A generous local business owner had $5,000 to give, but wanted to know where you thought it should go. You answered her call, and now 2 local organizations are getting $2,500 each. Spherian owner Angela Swartz presented those checks today to Family Promise of Augusta and Hope House of Augusta. They say there was an overwhelming response, and it was close between a lot of charities.
We're in the people business, right? We connect people with opportunity every day. So this is just another way that we can help and give back to the community that has given us so very much.
Spherion is a temporary work agency. The company did this to celebrate their 25th anniversary. They wanted to thank the community for helping them make this decision.
Libraries in Augusta staying closed for at least another week. The Maxwell Branch Library on Lumpkin Road extending their closing through January 31st. The library headquarters on Telfair Street near downtown, they're going to start curbside services tomorrow. You can go there if you have any books you need to return at any of Augusta's public libraries. Well, coming up, scheduling snafu means we're going to see one less game played at SRP Park this year. Mike has that story and more next in sports.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
With no Green Jackets games last season, the closest that SRP Park saw to professional action came between Georgia Southern and UGA. Originally, SRP Park was supposed to host 2 college baseball games this season, but will now only host 1. Georgia Southern announced their baseball schedule about a week ago, and their schedule included 2 games at SRP Park in March. The first was a rematch of last year's Dogs versus Eagle game on March 10th. UGA announced their baseball schedule yesterday, and that March 10th game did not make their schedule. After asking officials from both schools, I was told the March 10th game had officially been scratched. We will still have college baseball at SRP Park. Georgia Southern and Clemson will play here on March 23rd. A busy night of college hoops coming up. The USC Aiken men hit the road for a battle with Francis Marion. The Augusta men also in action. They're taking on Lander. The Jags have played Lander once this season, but it didn't count as a conference game. Also in action tonight, Clemson looks to rebound after their ugly loss to Virginia, and the Dogs look to continue getting back on track against Kentucky. The Wildcats boast a number of former Peach Jam players, but it's the style of play head coach Tom Crean is more concerned about.
The bottom line is you got to keep them off the glass. You can't let them have freedom in transition. They run a lot of really good sets. I think what we'll see more and more is a lot more post up, especially with Keon Brooks being back.
A goodbye to one of the greats. Phillip Rivers announced his retirement after 17 seasons in the NFL. It won't be a quiet retirement. Rivers is going to be a high school coach in Alabama.
Looking ahead to the weekend, we are expecting that sunshine to finally return by Saturday, and those temperatures don't look too far from normal. Now look at that 7-day forecast for you just after the break.
Like and follow News 1226 on Facebook for the latest up-to-date coverage near you.
Beautiful look at downtown Augusta here tonight. We are seeing the last little bit of daylight sneak below the horizon. We are expecting cloud cover to stay fairly thick with us as we head into the overnight. That's going to help keep our low temperatures generally into the mid-40s as we head towards tomorrow morning. So not overly cold to wake up to Thursday, but make sure you have that umbrella before you step out. We are expecting a few morning showers to last through midday tomorrow. On Friday, most of this rain is expected to be south of I-20. So the further north you go, your rain chances go down Friday. For the weekend, fantastic weather Saturday, mostly sunny. Highs staying in the 50s through the weekend, but getting close to 70 by early next week.
Sounds good, Riley. Thanks. That's going to wrap it up for News 12 at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Have a